Oh my god, I'm screaming. I literally cannot even deal right now with what is happening on General Hospital regarding this entire Ross Cullum and Jason Morgan situation. Okay, but listen, you have to hear what is actually going down because my jaw dropped and I am still shaking from the sheer audacity of these characters. I was literally just eating dinner and almost choked on my food when I realized the absolute mess that is unfolding. So Cullum is finally awake in the GH after being shot, right? And of course, because this show is completely unhinged, who is standing right there when he opens his eyes? Jocelyn Jacks. I am actually yelling at my screen at this point because why is she always in the wrong place at the wrong time? She was literally standing there probably plotting to pull his plug or something, which is insane by the way. Jocelyn needs to get it together, I swear, and boom, his eyes snap open. And now she has to backtrack and make up this ridiculous excuse about recognizing him from the news as Matthew the caretaker. I'm dead. I cannot breathe. But that is not even the most insane part of this whole storyline, so just buckle up because I am about to go off. Wait, did I already mention that Jason got arrested for this? Whatever. Anyway, Jason Morgan is currently taking the fall for shooting Ross Cullum. Yes, Jason is literally being extradited to some horrible WSB black site facility by Jack Brennan and Dante Falconeri, and everyone thinks he pulled the trigger. But here's the absolute kicker, the thing that is making me lose my actual mind. Cullum knows Jason didn't shoot him. I repeat, Cullum absolutely knows that Jason Morgan did not pull that trigger. Why? Because Cullum was facing Jason on Pier 55 when the shot rang out. The bullet hit Cullum in the back. I am literally screaming at the television like, does nobody understand basic physics? Cullum knows the shooter was standing behind him, which means it physically could not have been Jason, who was standing right in front of him, about to get bashed with an iron rod. The audacity of this man to just lay there in his ICU bed with a breathing tube and let Jason take the fall is so infuriating, but also so on brand for a villain like him. Oh wait, before that happened actually. Let's just rewind to Pier 55 for a second because I need to set the scene so you understand how wildly dramatic this is. Britt Westbourne was unconscious on the ground after Cullum smashed her Huntington's meds and knocked her out. Jason swoops in like the hero he is. They get into this massive physical altercation, and Cullum loses his gun. Cullum grabs an iron rod and is literally about to strike Jason in the head. And then, out of nowhere, from behind a wall, the gun goes off. Rocco Falconeri, Dante, and Lulu's teenage son picked up the dropped gun and shot the WSB director in the back to save Jason's life. I was shaking. I had to pause and text my friend immediately because Rocco? Sweet, traumatized Rocco pulled the trigger, and Jason, being Jason, instantly took the blame to protect Rocco from federal charges. It is so dramatic. Jason is sacrificing his entire freedom, leaving his son Danny behind, just to save Dante's kid. I'm crying just thinking about it. Okay, where was I? Right, so Cullum is awake in the hospital. He knows the bullet entered his back. He knows Jason was in front of him, therefore Cullum knows there was a third person on that pier. But is Cullum going to tell the authorities that Jason is innocent? Absolutely not. Why would he do that? Cullum hates Jason. Jason was a massive threat to Cullum's cold fusion project and his control over Britt. Cullum is probably thrilled that Jason is getting shipped off to a WSB prison where he might never see the light of day again. Honestly, Cullum is sitting there in his hospital bed, breathing through a tube, and probably laughing internally at how perfectly this worked out for him. He gets rid of Jason without having to lift a finger, and Jason is locked away for a crime he didn't even commit. It is sick. It is actually so twisted, and I am personally offended by Cullum's choices right now. But don't even get me started on Cullum's next move, because Cullum is a highly trained, deeply corrupt WSB agent. He is not just going to let it go that someone managed to sneak up behind him and put a bullet in his back. He is going to want to know exactly who had the guts to shoot him. So, Cullum is going to start his own secret underground investigation right from his hospital bed. He is going to play along with the PCPD. He is going to let Dante and Justine Turner and everyone else believe Jason did it, but behind the scenes, Cullum is going to be hunting for the real shooter. He is going to be replaying every single second of that altercation on Pier 55 inches his head. He will remember the angle of the shot, the fact that Nathan West mysteriously showed up right after, the way Jason immediately surrendered. Cullum is smart, too smart, and that is what terrifies me. I forgot to mention earlier, but Nathan West is currently orchestrating this massive, illegal cover-up to protect Rocco. Nathan showed up at the pier, took one look at the scene, realized Rocco shot Cullum, and immediately helped Jason frame himself. Nathan then dragged Rocco home to Lulu Spencer and swore them both to absolute secrecy. "If you do exactly as I ask, no one will ever have to know," Nathan said. Chills! Literally chills! But they are underestimating Ross Cullum. They think because Jason confessed and the WSB took him away, the case is closed. They think Rocco is safe, but Cullum is a bloodhound. He is going to sniff out the truth because he has unlimited resources and absolutely zero moral compass. He is going to realize that Jason wouldn't just take the fall for a random stranger. Jason would only sacrifice himself for someone he deeply cares about, or the child of someone he deeply cares about. And this is where I start panicking because the clues are all there. Rocco has been acting super suspicious. He was snooping around Britt's room earlier. He was literally spying on Britt and Lucas at the pier before the shooting happened. Cullum is going to start putting these pieces together. He might access security footage from the surrounding areas of Pier 55. He might notice a teenage boy fleeing the scene or Nathan West's vehicle arriving and leaving in a hurry. Cullum is going to quietly interrogate people. He is going to use his WSB connections to look into who was in the vicinity, and it is only a matter of time before he realizes that Dante Falconeri's son was the one who put a bullet in his back. I am calling it now. This is going to end badly. Mark my words, Cullum is going to figure it out, and it is going to be a bloodbath. Wait, did I already say that? Whatever. Anyway, let's talk about Danny Morgan and Charlotte Cassadine for a second because they are about to make everything 10 times worse. Danny is completely devastated that his dad has been taken away in a transport van. He is crying, he is broken, but he is also Jason Morgan's son, which means he is not stupid. Danny was on the footbridge with Charlotte and he straight up told her that he thinks someone else shot Ross Cullum. Danny knows his dad, he knows Jason's methods. And Charlotte, bless her heart, vows to help Danny figure out who actually pulled the trigger. I am literally screaming at my television again because no, stop snooping! Charlotte and Danny are going to start their own amateur investigation to clear Jason's name, and in doing so, they are going to accidentally uncover that Rocco did it. And you just know that Cullum is going to be watching them. Cullum will let these kids do the legwork for him, and when they uncover the truth, Cullum will snatch it right out from under them. The tragic irony of Charlotte trying to find the shooter, not realizing she is hunting down her own brother, Rocco, is actually Shakespearean. It is so dark. And when Cullum finally gets the confirmation he needs, when he finally realizes that a teenager bested him and shot him in the back, oh, the wrath of Ross Cullum is going to be biblical. Cullum is not the type of guy to say, "Oh, it was just a scared kid defending his surrogate uncle. I'll let it slide." No, Cullum is a monster. He literally just stabbed Marco Rios to death and left him bleeding out on Alexis Davis's office floor just for stealing some medication. Cullum has zero qualms about murdering people. He will absolutely target Rocco. He will want revenge. He will want to make Jason suffer by hurting the very kid Jason gave up his freedom to protect. I can literally picture the scene in my head right now. Cullum, fully recovered, cornering Rocco somewhere dark and isolated. Maybe back on Pier 55, just for the poetic justice of it all. Cullum taunting Rocco, telling him that Jason's sacrifice was for nothing because he found him anyway. I am shaking. Rocco is just a kid! He was just trying to save Jason and Britt! But Cullum doesn't care about any of that. Cullum's ego is so massive and so fragile that he cannot handle the fact that a teenager got the drop on him. He will make it his absolute mission to destroy Rocco's life, either by exposing him to the authorities and ruining his future, or by straight up trying to end his life. And Dante? Poor Dante is running around the PCPD, completely clueless, trying to solve all these cases, not knowing his own son is the real shooter and is currently in the crosshairs of a WSB psycho. Honestly, the stakes have never been higher. I am so emotionally invested in this, I feel like I need to take a sick day from work just to process it. Jason is sitting in some dark, damp WSB cell, probably being tortured, thinking he did the right thing, thinking Rocco is safe. But Rocco is the furthest thing from safe. And Lulu? Lulu is going to lose her mind when she realizes Cullum is hunting her son. She and Nathan are trying so hard to keep this under wraps, but you cannot hide a secret like this in Port Charles. It always comes out. And Cullum is the worst possible person to hold this secret. He will use it as leverage. He might even blackmail Dante with it. Imagine Cullum telling Dante, "Hey, your kid shot me." Drop the investigation into Marco Rios' death and let me do whatever I want, or I send Rocco to federal prison. The blackmail potential is absolutely insane. And what about Britt? Britt knows the truth too. She knows Rocco was there. She is currently debating whether to sneak into Cullum's ICU room and put something fatal in his IV. And honestly, I am rooting for her. Do it, Britt! Take him out before he can hurt Rocco! But we all know she will either get interrupted or Cullum will catch her, because villains like Cullum never die when they are supposed to. They linger, they plot, they scheme. Cullum is going to use his recovery time to perfectly map out his revenge against Rocco. He will wait until the perfect moment, when everyone thinks the dust has settled, and then he will strike. I literally cannot deal with the anxiety this show is giving me. I am checking the spoiler boards every 5 minutes because I need to know how Rocco survives this. Because if Cullum gets his hands on that boy, it is over. Jason's sacrifice will be completely pointless. And I swear, if they kill off Rocco after everything Lulu and Dante have been through, I am writing a strongly worded letter to the ABC network. I am done. But also, I am seated for the next episode because this drama is top tier. Mark my words, Cullum's secret investigation is going to tear Port Charles apart, and when the truth comes out about Rocco, the fallout is going to be legendary. I need to go lie down. My heart rate is actually out of control. Anyway, that's what's happening. I'll text you when I watch tomorrow's episode because you know I won't be able to keep my mouth shut.